left-wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
There has been a lot of talk about celebrity sexual abuse over the last few years. Like black male celebrities like R. Kelly and Diddy have been some of the main subjects of discussion. Now, unfortunately, we aren't strangers to seeing prominent black male celebrities being accused of and charged with sexual abuse. So today, we'll talk about 5 black celebrities who were charged with sexual abuse and how it impacted black culture. We're going to start off with number 1, old pudding pops, Bill Cosby. Cosby was found guilty of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault, and he was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in state prison. Wanda, what did he do, and how did his conviction impact the culture?
All right, so Bill Cosby, I'm sad. All right, Bill Cosby, like you said, faced numerous accusations of sexual assault and misconduct from multiple women. He was accused of drugging and sexually assaulting them in incidents dating back several decades. So when I was a child.
Before you was a child.
Yeah, before. In 2018.
I seen the documentary. Bad, bro.
Yes, he was found guilty of 3 counts of aggravated and indecent assault against women and sentenced to prison. Now, we all know Cosby was seen as the American dad, and that's what is really sad, because during the times that I was growing up, you didn't see a lot of people who looked like me on TV. So then you had this prominent family that was doing well financially, emotionally, looked loving, had their children, a family that we would all look up to. So that's how it affected the black culture. So you got the black dad now facing these type of charges. So the show, of course, started a positive representation of black life and culture, and that inspired generations to come. So when he was found, as far as accused of these, it was difficult for us because he was the dad everybody wanted. And I'm a daddy's girl, so we don't think our dads do anything wrong. So looking at that, it was a negative impact because, again, we didn't have too many shows on TV like that was in a positive light and inspiring us as young black children. And then when the dad is found to be doing something he had no business doing, it was hurtful. It was sad, something you didn't want to believe.
Yeah, boy, Bill Cosby, right? I mean, come on, where do we start? Like, Bill Cosby hosted Fat Albert, man. I was, that Fat Albert, that was our shit when we was little. You know what I'm saying? That was a black cartoon with black people in it.
Yeah.
And he was doing that. But you can go back to I Spy in the 60s. I mean,
Yep.
the thing about it, man, I don't know if you've seen the documentary, man, but there's a documentary done by some real educated black people that kind of did it. And they did it because they said as black people, especially in a situation like Bill Cosby's American dad, blah, 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 we didn't want to persecute him. We wanted to defend him. And they said we do that too much.
Right.
And they lined up the evidence to show and they did it in a timeline from his career all the way now and lined up the people that were there and accusing them and put them in this timeline. And I was like, wow. I wanted to be one of the people that believed like, hey, you know what? He was trying to buy CBS and doing this and that, and they were coming after him and all that. But when they lined all that evidence up and they had the testimonies of these women and the timelines, and here's the killer part, same MO on all of them. So what he was doing in 1960, he was doing in 1990.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he had been doing it
Years.
continuously. Then Hollywood, it was already an underlying thing that they knew this about him. You know what I'm saying? So in the 80s, because I was thinking, in the 80s, you're right. Bill Cosby had the #1 show in the world. Like, why you drugging people, bro? Like, you ain't got to do that. I'm pretty sure, I hate that you cheating on Camille, but I'm pretty sure you can find somebody, Bill, especially in the 80s when you was running things. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? But it's just that was his MO. That's what he was doing with people. So just like you said, especially with our generation, Bill was, he was a comedian. He was a little more to us, like I said, because, my mom and him, he was a comedian and all that. To us, he like I said, he was a dad, father figure. He was an educator. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we grew up on him. You know what I'm saying? Then in the 80s, he came out and we were becoming young adults, and he became a role model, an aspiration of what we wanted to be.
Yep.
I read the damn book Fatherhood when I became a dad. You know what I'm saying? Because Bill Cosby wrote it. You know what I'm saying? And I love the comedy act that he had. He was really more of a role model. Because when we came up, it was Cosby. It was Richard Pryor.
Right.
Richard Pryor was on drugs and shit and getting burnt up. You know what I'm saying? So even though we thought he was funny as hell,
He still won.
we weren't aspiring to be Richard Pryor.
Nah.
We all were aspiring to kind of be like Cosby.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. So we didn't want to tear him down, but I hate to say it, man, when it laid out, it was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody in 1960, they didn't call up somebody in 1990. And what was killing me was like, he was knocking out all them yellow bones on the Cosby Show. He was just knocking them down. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, Cos. You know what I'm saying? Because back Cosby Show was out. He didn't hide dark skinned chicks. It was all high yellow and mixed. You know what I'm saying? He was knocking them all down. Except probably the children. But other than that, if he was on the show, they had a little friend. Bill was getting them. You know what I'm saying? Because all of them testified against him. Look at the documentary and shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, somebody who's a little bit more around our age, who we might not have looked up to as a father figure, is Diddy.
This nigga.
So Diddy's been accused of rape, sexual abuse, sex trafficking, and all types of stuff by Cassie and others. So what's public opinion about these accusations, and what's next with Diddy Hates?
Man, I'm well, first and foremost, on the show, we didn't talk about Diddy so much. Thank you, sir, because you're giving us content for that. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that.
You crazy.
That you're giving us content to talk about and keep our podcast going. But I mean, Diddy, I don't see him not getting jail time because I think he was just so, blatant, but he just got to the point where he didn't care and he thought that, he was going to be able to, like, he just didn't take anything in consideration. Some people could say getting sloppy, but I don't want to say that like he was, I'm not condoning any of the bullshit that he was doing. I mean, it's just to me with him, it's just, and I'm not judging him and say Cosby was better, but like with Diddy, it was just like a power thing with him. You know what I'm saying? And so he hurt a lot of people, man.
I think that power is involved, like, it's all, I think even Bill Cosby, like you said, he could probably get with many different women. He had a wife. He shouldn't have been doing that. But if he wasn't satisfied with his wife and he was a bad person, then cheat. But he took it another level to make it a power move by knocking out these people and doing it with whoever he wanted to without even asking for their consent. Consent. So it's kind of like a power move. It's like, I want to have power over this person. Yeah,
like he's turned on to the sickness of the fact that he's making somebody do something that they're not willing to do. And I think that's another thing with Diddy. Yep. I mean, but like, and I don't know what Cosby did, but we got Diddy on film just beating the shit out of Cassie. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And to me, and I took it a lot of ways, but I took it from me. I started thinking like this. All right, and because this is my time, my lifestyle. All right, well, Suge Knight was a piece of shit. Puffy's a piece of shit, and we still don't know what the hell happened to Tupac and Biggie. Probably they had some shit to do with that because, we got
anything is possible.
Yeah, we got, we look at the NWA movie, we got Suge Knight, got naked dudes and pit bulls and shit and scaring them and shit and knowing we don't know what the fuck Diddy done did with Meek Mills. You know what I'm saying? Like what the like the shit they did is kind of like y'all took it to the nastiness to another fucking level just to entertain yourself. 50-foot bed in the backyard and shit. No telling what the hell's on that damn bed. You know what I'm saying? So with Diddy, and it's like, dude, bro, you had Homeland Security hit both of your places at the same damn time. What the hell do they got on you when you getting a double raid, nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, you ain't no dope dealer. So I don't, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And I guess it's a little more personal because you're right. Diddy is us. No, Diddy, Mary J. Blige, those kind of stars, that's our generation. Aretha Franklin ain't ours. That's my mama and them. You know what I'm saying?
But Diddy.
You know what I'm saying? But Diddy, Mary J. Blige, that's us. That's 90s. Jodeci, that's us. So when y'all tripping, it's like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was closer to you.
Yeah.
Like you said. It's kind of hard for me to say, well, I'm not going to listen to shit Diddy do. Everything I fucking listen to, Diddy's got his hands in it somehow. Nigga, I'm still bumping Notorious Big to this day.
Yeah.
All the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to stop listening to that shit. You know what I'm saying? I still bump Mary J. What's the 411? That's Diddy shit. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's where it's a little more emotional with me when it comes to him. I mean, I'm not making any excuses, but that's why I feel a little more personal investment because like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So
I have no words.
I'm
I was a Diddy, not a fan of his, but I do like his music and stuff. But there has been, I don't know, things have been said about him. And I think, once again, because we listen to the music and we enjoy, we have ignored. Kind of same thing with R. Kelly. Like, you've heard things about him, go get me some cheesecake and stuff and some little sexual innuendos, what he was doing with his ex, I can't think of her name, the one who passed away. Like, there has been...
Or Kim
Porter.
Kim. Oh, you're talking about Diddy. Okay.
Yeah, Diddy. So sorry, Kim. So there's been things that have been said about him as far as his... how he interacts with women. So some of the stuff that wasn't surprising, like the sex trafficking, yes. The I don't know, raping of men, women, whatever he is, crazy stuff that's doing. That was like eye-opening experience for me. But I mean, I can't say I'm completely like shocked by his behavior because there has been things that have been said that we have ignored in public. And I don't know this man personally, but it's sick and disgusting. And it saddens me because I do think, I was like, I don't know what happens. Like, is it the money and they feel like the power, I can do whatever. I do kind of see, and I hate to say this, but I see Diddy like Trump to me, like just,
no, really,
you can't touch me. I'm Diddy, and that's terrifying to me that you think you can do whatever you want to individuals and hurt them physically, emotionally, and have no retribution for that. Yeah. So I'm ready for him to go to jail. Bye, Diddy.
It's like that, and you say the Trump comparison, it's all like that New York mob boss mentality.
Right.
Like we see the New York mob boss that he just gets away with all kinds of crazy stuff and no care for the world. You know what's funny? I was just thinking about that when you said, we were kind of a little low-key mad when Jennifer Lopez broke up with Diddy. Like in that situation before all this came out, it was kind of like...
She knew something.
Or it was kind of like... When she left him, then she started getting all these husbands. It was like, it's kind of something wrong with her because she keeps getting these husbands or whatever. But now it's like,
know what? Yeah.
Like, what does Jennifer know that she probably just jumped out of early on that? You're like, man, fuck
she probably knows.
That's what I'm saying.
She knows.
But we was low key kind of like, it's something wrong with her because she
used him.
She keeps kind of getting husbands left and right and all this. But
trauma.
Yeah,
it's funny how we have this tendency to disregard women's statements around how they're being physically abused or sexually assaulted. And we always turn to, you want money or you want fame or there's something else. And then we shun them. We make them look bad. We say all this bad shit about them. And then later on, it comes up, there's more evidence that it supports what they were saying. Or more people start. It just takes one brave person to say something for the dominoes to start falling, for other individuals to start getting involved in these situations. And J-Lo is just, and Kim Porter, are just like a few of those people who did those types of things. And now they're vindicated about what they were saying in the
Cassie,
past.
right.
And then when Cassie first came out with it,
nobody said anything.
And we knew she was suing him. The first thing we was like, man, she's just going for his money. You know what I'm saying?
She got her own money.
And he paid her real quick. And people was like,
maybe
what happened? But until he paid her, we was on his side. Oh man, she's just trying to make money, man. All these years, man, she finally coming out.
We gotta stop being like that, man.
And now the tape come out when she getting her ass whooped like that, you like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? You feel real bad. But that's just like you said, man. That's how society, as soon as a woman starts saying that stuff and you think about it, especially if they're famous, you think, man, she's in there just trying to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, as soon as I started making this video, I started wondering, why didn't you click that like button? Okay. So please make sure that you like this video. If you like the conversation, make sure that you share this content on all of your social media platforms and subscribe to Left Wing Kings. So, Black disappointment number 3.
Here we go.
R. Kelly. R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison for 8 counts of sex trafficking and 1 of racketeering. What the heck was R. Kelly doing, Walanda?
Oh, goodness. Predatory pursuit of teenage girls in the 90s. That's what he was doing. I do want to point out, Kelly was a victim of assault or sexual abuse. And he says that in his autobiography, not excusing any type of behavior. I was trying to look at like what happens to these people. And again, I'm not going to use his trauma as an excuse because a lot of people have been sexually abused, raped, and they're going around doing the same type of behaviors, right? So I was looking at like pedophilia characteristics because to me, you're targeting children, right? Most of these were women of underage. There were some that were barely making it on the cusp. And a lot of them, just common characteristics that I saw were like persistent sexual fantasies, difficulty controlling impulses. If you ever saw him in a video or went and saw them, they said at his concerts, he was always very sexual. You know what I mean? I was like, are you a sexual deviant or something? Like something's wrong. Like I think there was signs out there for R. Kelly, again, that we like his music. We enjoy him. They thought he was attractive, right? So we just ignored things, but he had some of these definitely behaviors. Manipulative behavior. We all know about Aaliyah and all the other young girls that were involved.
Aaliyah.
Yeah. Social isolation. I didn't see that with him because I think he liked to be in the limelight. That was the only difference. And just a history of abuse. Those are actually characteristics of people who have or indulge in pedophilia. So I do think obviously there's something wrong with him, right? I can't put my finger on it. I mean, again, he's an attractive man that he would have attracted women. But for some reason, he's attracted to children. There's something wrong with him. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know the answer to that, but just saying that I do think there's something psychologically wrong with him.
One of my favorite R. Kelly songs, I love this song. He starts off and he says, "You may be young, but you're ready." And then the background comes in and says, "Ready to learn." Like, nigga, was that a clue?
Signs. They were out
He
there.
made a whole song. One of my favorite songs, in the 90s,
Yeah.
R. Kelly was my go-to. R. Kelly was my go-to. Like, it's funny, I was looking at the Stax documentary. They were talking about Stax, and this dude in the 70s says, yeah, man, if Isaac Hayes was playing, he was in college, Isaac Hayes was playing, man, on the radio, and, you heard Isaac Hayes playing out the room, that meant you had to sleep somewhere else because your friend was busy. That was R. Kelly for us in the 90s. R. Kelly was on, and you knew your friend was in there with a girl. Bumping Ground was on.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I got to move around. So, I mean, and that's where he stood with us. But yeah, I mean, the signs were there. I mean, I listen to that song now, and when I hear it now, I'd be like, wow, he just like told us that.
He told us.
Like, you may be young, but you ready to learn. And I love that damn song. You know what I'm saying?
It has a new meaning now.
Yeah, but like, it's like.
You got something you want to tell us?
Yeah, you
talk about Adrian.
You just bold like that. No, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? You just nah, I don't get down like that. I like women with problems. You gotta have problems.
There you go. You can't give no
problems. Yeah, you gotta have real life problems. Like you paying mortgages, your kids going through college, nigga.
Right.
Like you got real grown up bills, nigga. I can't deal with no kids.
Yeah,
not at
exactly.
All. But off me though. You know what I'm saying? We back on R. Kelly. Yeah, man, that was just, I looked at that documentary too. I look at documentaries. I love them. So
Me too.
Nonetheless, with that, what tripped me out, what really pissed me off about R. Kelly, when he was sending his bodyguards to the mall. Like, nigga, like for real? You sending your bodyguards to the mall to find, because ain't no grown ass women just hanging out in the mall.
No.
You don't.
They their own business.
Your
Shop
number
and
one
leave.
place, if you're trying to find a grown ass woman, you're not going to the mall. Not at all. One, nobody goes to the goddamn mall no more anyway. But
back then,
Children did.
Teenagers hung out at the mall. That's what they did. So you had an orchestrated plan. That's what you were doing specifically to find young girls. I mean, there's no forgiveness for that. I just can't look past that. So and then the Aaliyah thing, that wasn't a key. It wasn't a nigga 37 when he married Aaliyah. How was he? I don't know.
Yeah,
he was old,
in
though.
30s and she was a kid.
I don't know.
No, he was old though, but Aaliyah wasn't. Aaliyah.
She was not.
And guess what song he wrote for her?
Age ain't nothing.
Age ain't nothing but a goddamn number. It's right under. That's what pissed me off about him. He was doing this shit right under that goddamn
And
nose
writing
telling
songs
us.
about it.
Age ain't nothing
He
but
was
a
27
number.
when he married her.
Yeah.
Yeah, writing songs about it.
Yeah. Age ain't nothing but a number, and you ain't. You may be young.
She
but
wasn't
you're
even
ready.
15.
She was
Yeah.
15. She's a sophomore in high school.
15, nigga.
In school. She's still in school.
Dude, she ain't even got a real booty yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga here You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. She wearing training bras, bro.
And he was holding
You know what I'm saying?
hostage while
Hey.
he was doing some of this.
Yeah. That was sick too. The wife, it was just
She
sick.
she just got out the Betty Boop panties, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
He said that Betty Boop. Hey,
or the cat bear underwear, whatever young girls wear.
the Monday to Friday panties.
Come on, man. Yeah, R.
Not
Kelly.
funny.
R. Kelly, you know, he like I said, the thing with him is them, you know, them young girls, man. Nobody ever gonna forgive him for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Not to throw away my Chocolate City CD.
It's
you
kind
know?
of funny though. Like you talk about nobody's gonna forgive R. Kelly, but it seems like we got stars too, and two of them about to get into on the next two. To me, in my mind, we forgive these stars for what they did, and act like it ain't nothing wrong with them. Our number 4 dirty deliverer is Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson settled civil lawsuits alleging sexual abuse, and he was charged with sexual molestation of a child, for which he was found not guilty. But many people still think he did it. Ace, talk to us a little bit about Mike and why people treat him differently.
It's hard with
that.
Mike, dog. It's hard with Mike. You know, even when he was on trial, all that nigga had to do was get him start doing Billie Jean dances and shit, and we was like, oh. Michael Jackson is just on a level to where you just don't want to believe it. Like, you don't want to, but all the things line up. Like,
Everything.
Like, abusive father, you know what I'm saying? He had a manipulated childhood where he really didn't get to grow up and stuff. So, and who knows, man? And then, you know, his drug use that he was using, and I heard he was giving kids wine and pills and people waking up and their booties hurting and shit. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Where there's smoke, there's fire, man. It's just bad with Mike. But, you know, Mike got one. Nigga, all Mike got to do is, doom. Nigga, everybody forgives him and shit. Don't you hear that beat? He put that hat down like that, nigga. Is, you know, you just forget about it, man. But unfortunately, man, it's just like, God dang. I mean, he's dead. Don't want to speak on the dead's name bad, but man, it's just, you know, he got him lined up. And now I think it was some situations, he put himself in some situations that came out to where he just put himself in a bad situation. I don't, you know, like it's some certain kids that went over there and tried to take advantage of the situation. I do believe that. But it's some of them stories that are coming out that, you know.
Yeah, you said you watch documentaries.
Yeah.
And like there's a bunch of documentaries. They had some very popular documentaries that came out about the dance guy, I can't remember his name, and other ones where they laid it all out, man. Families.
Yeah.
Regretting their decisions and doing things for money that they shouldn't have been doing. They not all of them said that they regretted it, but a lot of their kids feel like, you know, they were exploited by their parents, trying to get money and fame, and letting their kid. And I was talking to one like earlier about this. I'm like, what if I just asked my next door neighbor, "Hey, can your 5-year-old come sleep in the bed with me?" You would say no. I wouldn't even think to do that. This dude is lining shit up. Oh, y'all come over to Neverland, stay with me. Oh, okay, well, he's going to sleep with me. You go over there. Well, what do you have to do to convince somebody to let their 5-year-old stay with a 40-year-old man in the bed and go to sleep?
Nah.
There got to be something you taking, and how much do you love your child? That's not even...
Yeah, we don't rock
That's
like
not even
that.
cool,
We don't
man.
rock like, my 20-year-old nephew was talking about, nobody asked me to babysit. I said, nigga, because you 20, nigga, like... Nobody gonna let you watch no babies, and that's in my family. You know what I'm saying? Now, how the hell you gonna let Michael? I don't care who the fuck you are. Like, how you gonna let Michael Jackson or somebody just be with your child, unattended? Nigga, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, not at all. You know what I'm saying? But
Where you
some
going
people,
with this?
some people just want to, you know, for money and fame, man.
Well, I just went to my little checklist, and he checks all the boxes. I got
For
6 on
pedophilia?
here. Yeah, so he got history of abuse, right? So maybe not sexually abusive, but we all know about his father and the situation there. Social isolation. He was awkward. Okay? The man was very awkward.
Man, he had
did
a
not
place
like to
called
interact.
Neverland where
Right.
nobody could go. That's social isolation.
That's social isolation.
They got giraffes and shit
Manipulative
there.
behavior. So he's paying whatever was going on with the parents. The parents were crazy. I don't care. Like you said, you don't give your children to a man. I don't care what icon he is. Parents, please do not give your children away to adults that you don't know. That's weird. Okay? And so difficulty controlling impulses. So obviously he has something with little boys, especially. He wasn't inviting many girls over. Just hint, hint. They were young boys. persistent sexual fantasies. I don't know what was in his head, but it sounds very fantasized like he got Neverland, like what's happening over here. And then primary sexual attraction to children. I mean, there's, like you said, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's too many of those kids and too many documentaries out there. And I love Michael Jackson, like you said, but we have to get away from, as a society, because somebody becomes an icon or they're famous or they got a large amount of money, that we just start overlooking deviant behavior. Because as a society, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, did he touch
That's what
upon
we're doing.
Rivera? You know,
I don't know.
he get
I
caught.
have no
he
idea.
didn't get caught, did he?
I don't know.
They
I don't know.
Macaulay Culkin lost his mind, and we all see what happened
Macaulay
to him.
said that nothing happened.
Yeah, okay.
He said that.
I think
That's all
Carlton's
lies.
okay though. Carlton looked like he lived a pretty
He
good
looked like
life,
something
man.
happened. No, he looked like
You know,
he went through
Alfonso
something.
Rivera, he was making breakdance boards back in the day.
But the
He
dance,
was good.
I can't think of the dance guy because I really watched him. But he was touching, and he's married. You know what I'm saying? But that documentary was a really good documentary. I mean, he could have been lying, but
I'm
I'm
gonna look at
saying,
that. I ain't seen that.
look
I'm
at that
gonna
one.
look.
I'll think of his name. Just Robson.
Yeah, that's his name.
Robson is the last name. But if you just look at some of the names and just things that were happening, he was very connected with children. I'm sorry, anybody who just want to hang around. I work with kids. I don't want to hang around kids all day. You see me on vacation, I'm like, no. I mean, no one wants to be around
Yeah, no
children
one
like
wanna
that.
be
That's
around kids
weird.
like that.
I'm sorry. As
They
an
gotta
adult,
go to sleep sometime.
yes. I mean,
their
and
ass
I
to
love
sleep.
kids too. Don't get me wrong, but none of y'all coming to my house. I know that much.
Yeah, I'm past that kid
No.
threshold. Like,
Yeah.
my patience ain't good like that
No.
no more.
Yeah. Well, the next number 5 on our list is a beloved figure today, like you said about Biggie, still listening to Biggie and stuff like that. Tupac. So
Tupac, man.
Tupac was found guilty
Dear mama.
on 2 counts of first-degree sexual abuse and sentenced to up to 4.5 years in prison, of which he served 8 months before he was released on appeal. Wanda, tell us your feelings about this case.
Oh, this is personal. I don't be having like crushes. Like I love my husband. I love my husband. Very attractive, But I did have 2, and it would be Tupac and DMX. So I was very personal, like, and he kind of
I ain't know
resembles both of them.
DMX.
Yeah. So
I
what
kind of see the
I'm saying?
DMX and shit. I
Right.
can see the fantasy work in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them. There was the only 2.
Sean be in that growling shit. Rolanda come in there and shit. DMX. I come in the house. What?
Let me
Your
tell my
sons come in.
secret.
What is DMX doing on? Son come home from college and nigga. Why is DMX up so loud and shit, nigga? Why daddy in that growling and shit?
I don't have very many. I'm not a groupie like that. But those are the 2 probably. So with I was not aware, or maybe I, tuned it out about Tupac. So with the Tupac situation, I did listen to the young lady and her documentary, and it was really interesting. There's some things I don't agree with. As a female, again, doesn't make it okay, right? Just because we make bad decisions doesn't mean things should happen to us. So in the Tupac situation, I don't believe he actually raped her. I think what he was guilty of is not allowing others to rape her. You know what I'm saying? Just ignoring or turning a blind eye to a situation, or maybe even set her up. He had an interaction with her 3 days prior that ended up in intercourse, right? So he's already thinking like, she about it. She comes back to his place. There's other people there. They're not being intimate at the time in a room by themselves. Some gentlemen come in, I use that term loosely, and things happen to her, unfortunately. And I do believe her case in her account. Now, where Tupac made a wrong is he exited the room and allowed those things to happen to her. But do I think that he raped her? No. I'm still going to steadfast on that, just by even her account and her rendition of what happened. She loses a lot of things like, I don't remember. Well, he left. I don't know how. He was underneath her. I'm on top of him. And then he wasn't on top of him. I'm like, that kind of stuff doesn't, I don't know. I don't understand it in relation to how that worked out. But
Yeah, I would just say that.
but either way, he's guilty. I mean, it's wrong. Wrong is wrong.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And
Definitely.
And I would say that in that situation, for me, I can't put myself in her shoes. I will never be able to. That will never be it. So I can't say how, things might get blurry. Shock is a motherfucker.
Right.
Things that happen and you don't want to remember that shit no more. You don't want to know the intricacies of every little detail that's happening to you. And if that were happening to me, I don't know what I would or would not remember. But at the end of the day, I agree with you too. I think that Tupac was irresponsible. I personally think, and I don't know if you know about this, Ace, or anything like that, but I've heard of people that I know who try to set up sex little three-ways and shit like that.
I was about to go there.
And these are niggas on my level. So if I do that, and I know this nigga got somebody who the night before, or a few days before, fellatio on a dance floor, he has a perception of this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he had sex with her, and then he tells all his homeboys, "Hey, nigga, let's all just run a train
That's
on
real.
this bitch."
That's real.
That has happened. I know niggas that have done that. People, like I said, on my
Yeah.
level. So I do believe that he did that shit. I think it was his intent to do that, and that's why I think he got in trouble. Not because he was the abuser, but even with murder, you watch the first 48.
Yeah.
If you set up a robbery, it's
called an
and the
accomplice.
motherfucker get killed because you set it up.
You're an
Sorry, nigga,
accomplice,
you going to jail for murder too.
You're an accomplice.
And that's what happened here. You set the shit up. You brought this girl over here, told these niggas when I leave, y'all niggas come on in and fuck. And that's what happened to me. That's my opinion. Tupac ain't here no more. She don't know what they planned because she don't know what they planned. She knows what happened to her though.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I don't think Tupac was physically the rapist. I think in strategics and all of that, he strategized and planned that whole
Yeah.
shit.
Right.
Hey, let's be real, man. I'm going to take it back to the 90s. And Sean hit a point there. 90s was wild. There was no social media. Hell, Freaknik was out there. Kappa Beach Party was there. And there's a reason why that stuff is surfacing. And we sitting here because we ain't trying to, we sitting here. And I've been in those situations and seen those, not seen them, but I've been and heard of those situations back in the day.
Yeah.
That was common. That was called switching. That was a thing. You know what I'm saying? For real. Dudes were doing that. Now, I think that with Tupac, a lot of it does fall to him because he was famous. You know what I'm saying? But, and I think females, tell me, Wallanda, they kind of knew. Like, you just probably didn't go up in the room with people like that. Not in the 90s, dog.
Without your homegirls.
Not with your homegirls.
Well, that's why I kept saying that. She was by herself the whole time. So on the dance floor, the whole, anyways.
Yeah, but like...
Right. You don't go to a hotel room with men by yourself.
In the 90s, there was no...
We didn't do that.
Way to record that or anything, and it was just your word against theirs if something went down.
Right.
And that's with dudes that were pretty damn decent. Now, if you was drunk, high, whatever, anything could fucking happen back then. You know what I'm saying? Plain and simple. Nobody's recording that shit. Nobody had record of that stuff.
Right.
Now, like I said, the people that Tupac was hanging out with, the dudes that did it, were actually like some gangsters up there. He was running with some bad people. Them dudes didn't give a fuck.
Thugs.
Who knows if Tupac had intent or not, but more than likely, like, even if he did or didn't, he was running around with some bad characters that didn't give a damn. And like Sean said, probably bragging, talking shit. She was she was breaking me off on the dance floor 3 days ago. Oh, she's out there.
Yeah, he said it on Arsenio Hall show.
She's out.
Like, he even said what happened. I was like, wow. Like, you didn't think very much of this young lady.
And
You know what I mean?
in the 90s, we ranked girls like that. Oh, man, she's a freak. You know what I'm saying? She did blah, 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 blah. And dudes would get girls up in the room and they're going to push them to the limit. Like I said, it wasn't the social awareness we got now back then. Hell, it was the norm. You know what I'm saying? You went out to the club pursuing shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So not trying to give any say, well, Tupac was, it wasn't his
Just
fault
doing
or
what was
whatever.
normal.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that. Because it was even wrong back then. But the thing is you have to understand the times were basically different. And that was things people, everybody, if you listen to a lot of the MCs that wrote songs back then, they write songs about that. Gin and Juice, starting off. When he's talking about we ain't leaving till 6 a.m, and he's talking about the girls came in, we don't love them hoes. All that shit, that was 90s.
It ain't no fun if my
your
homies can't have none. There's a song called
that. Was 90s. That was 90s culture, club culture back in those days. You know what I'm saying? And most of the people in their 20s probably got stories where something was very similar to what happened there. They just didn't get reported because they weren't famous. And that's why a lot of people from there kind of say, a lot of that was going on back then.
Right.
But not...
And he served time.
Yeah, not knocking Tupac, but, not trying to defend Tupac.
No.
But that's kind of what it was.
Let me put it to you like this. It's the same point I made about drunk driving. And y'all can say whatever y'all want. A lot of people drunk drive. And you get caught or you don't. You get home and you fine. Some people get caught doing it.
Yeah.
This is a situation, just like you said, that was wrong. A lot of people were doing it, and it was wrong for everybody to do it. Everybody ain't get caught. All these females didn't speak up. It's unfortunate that sometimes, like you said, there was girls out there who had labels. I know there was. When I was in school, plenty of females. This girl's a hoe. This want to do this. This want to do that. And motherfuckers tried to target those females for sex and things like that. And the reputation was just out there. And then you get these girls in a situation, and sometimes they don't want to say anything because they already got a fucking bad reputation. They know motherfuckers is talking about them.
Yeah.
They know motherfuckers. So maybe they don't, oh shit, this just happened now. I don't want to say nothing, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe some of it is true. So they're just like, you know what? This is just who I am. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it was wrong for anyone to do it. Tupac got caught doing it.
Yeah. And let's be real. Police back then weren't doing shit about it.
No.
Like, people didn't even think that was a crime till Tupac got caught. Like I said, a lot of people for years defended that shit. Like, that's a crime. Like I say, that was just kind of the temperature of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just wasn't as big as a deal right now, you know? Like, right now, you don't even want to give a woman a compliment at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you be like, man, shit. I
Better be
think
quiet.
she looks kind of good, but I'm not going to say shit. You know what I'm saying?
Keep walking.
Keep
Yep,
walking.
just shut up and walk.